Hello everyone and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from Alcatraz 252 and he is in the Z-46, a tier 9 German destroyer. He is on the map trap in a 3-point domination game mode. It's a tier 10 battle, there's a carrier around, there is very little radar, just a booster, and there's quite a few destroyers. Now the carrier is obviously the biggest threat, like the carrier could park planes above him and there is nothing he could do about it. So we will see how that turns out. Now thankfully the friendly carrier is here, so he has some protection if needed. And also the enemy destroyer gets spotted by the friendly planes. Unfortunately the friendly ships here, I'm not sure if they actually have shots at the enemy. It would have been nice if somebody stayed more towards the south, but you know, it's an enemy carrier. And that means the friendly ships want to stick together to help with the anti-air. Also there is a relatively small force here in the north, so we will see. Now Alcatraz is opening up with his guns here. He was biding his time. And the enemy is basically almost close enough for some hydro shenanigans. Now the Lightning has hydro as well, but the Lightning's hydro is only 3 kilometers ship detection. So he's getting closer here. And he will soon hydro. I mean, he could have hydro a little bit earlier in case there were torps coming. But I don't think the Lightning has the right angle to launch torps his way while he was trying to get into this cover. Now the Lightning might have some pretty decent cover here, we will see. The friendlies are very soon in a position where they can try to engage the Lightning, and it looks like we are getting some hits here. The Lightning can reverse a little bit, because nobody is here in the south really. I think the Lightning might just be able to get into some basically perfect cover here and be safe. Now meanwhile there is also the Yu Yang, and I'm not sure he's protecting him. Well, I mean, he's firing his guns, I guess that explains everything. Now Alcatraz here, he could use his smoke, he probably should. Yeah, then again, it's not like he's under that much fire, and if he smokes they might just lose sight of the enemy destroyer. But with an enemy cruiser getting in on the fun, I guess it's time to smoke. Now, the Lightning is... I don't know, I mean, I guess he didn't like the fact that the enemies couldn't shoot him, so he decided, you know what? Let's just go and sink a little bit. Those torps are also, like, sort of questionable. I mean, the Lightning had nothing to lose at this point, but he's launching those torps while he knows that an enemy is using hydro here, so... You know, there was very little chance of them doing anything. Now meanwhile there is an airstrike incoming. The friendlies here are sticking close together so they can use the anti-air together. So we will see how much the enemy can do here. Actually, let's watch that. Now those are tier 8 planes and those are 3 ships. And you see how many planes survived and how much they were able to launch and how much damage they do. So yeah, that's carriers for you. Now if that was a tier 10 carrier, then that core first would already be dead. But hey, at least it's only tier 8, I guess. Now meanwhile, Alcatraz here is capping. It's looking alright at the A cap while the enemy have taken the cap. The friendlies have quite a few ships here, so they might be able to take it back. In the center, this daring is very daring because he doesn't really have much support. There's a Fletcher and a Wooster, and there were planes who would have spotted him here, so I guess the daring is basically here where he can easily escape and get around this island, so he is positioned in a way that he can run away and take cover. And right now this daring is just delaying the enemy, which is good enough, I guess. So let's hope that the friendlies can clear out the A cap soon and then push into B and then secure the B cap. This means the force here in the north is mostly just delaying the enemy. It's a miracle that they actually got the C cap. Like, they don't even have radar with them, so the Yu Yang could have just sat in there smoking. Or well, just sat in there, didn't even need smoke. And could have prevented that. And I'm not sure what the Yu Yang is doing. It's possible that he's going here into the north in order to get some torps into those guys. And looks like we are coming in here for a quick hug, because why not? We are all friendly here. Now in the center it looks like the Fletcher is actually pushing, and as I said, now the Daring is perfectly positioned to get away if he needs to, and he probably needs to. Well, I mean, if the Fletcher is alone, then not, but I would have assumed that the Wooster might come in here with him. Actually, the Daring might even have some help in form of a Montana here. Now, meanwhile, they are taking the A-cap, I believe. The enemies here are in retreat, so that's good. But let's look what Alcatraz here is up to. He could have stayed in C and ventured, like, inside of C towards the enemy fleet. But he is going happy in the north together with his friendly ships. He wants to provide some scouting for those guys and probably launch some torps against the enemies and stop the push. Like, the enemy team has the advantage here ship-wise. They could just push in here. I'm just not sure if they are willing to do that. And, well, it looks like the Yu Yang has started capping C. Now at this point, it's... well, I mean, he has an island between himself and C, but he will probably go there pretty soon. Now we also have a cyclone starting. When there is a cyclone coming, it's very important that you think ahead and basically prepare, because if you are down to 8 kilometers spotting range, you definitely don't want to be sitting like very far away from enemies, because there is nothing you can do then. So you want to be in a good position where you are hopefully close to allies so you can support each other, and close to the camps to either take or defend them. Now Alcatraz has activated his hydro here. It's a Yu Yang, so I doubt that he has to fear about any torpedoes launched this way, but he's radio located, and I mean, we never know. It's possible that the Fletcher from the B-cap has moved up here or something. So better safe than sorry. And well, we know that the enemy is inside here. Also, since there is a cyclone, if he moves closer and engages the enemy destroyer, wherever the destroyer might be, he probably doesn't get too much support. Or maybe the enemy destroyer just charges him, and yeah, that should work. So he's smoking here, and I mean, the Yu Yang knows that he is here, right? So he knows that there is hydro, so, well, okay. So the Yu Yang should have turned around the moment he realized that he was pushing into a hydro destroyer and should have run for the hills. But instead he is trying to slow down and smoke inside hydro. Well, if that wasn't enough, there was a Kurfürst coming who also has hydro, so I'm not sure how the enemy destroyer thought that would work, but it's a mystery. So meanwhile, the friendlies have dealt with A and are now moving on towards B, so the friendly team is doing this pretty well, by the book. Secured the cap, now pushing towards B here. Now, the friendly team has a huge lead, but it's a cyclone, and during a cyclone is basically the best time when you can make a comeback. Because if you can force like one-on-one engagements, then you have an easy time of maybe taking the scores back if you outplay the enemy. And it looks like he just got a liquidator. I wasn't aware that North Carolina was still flooding, but I guess we'll take it. So we had a North Carolina flooding to death here, and now comes a Republic charging in. So I wonder how this will turn out for the Republic. Let's see if he's going straight ahead around this corner, or if he's just like slowing down, turning, eking around here. I mean, he really doesn't want to give broadside to the Kurfürst, so that alone should make him turn. I guess he doesn't care. Well, okay. So Alcatraz is following it up with some guns. He even gets a nice fire, because why not? Now this is somewhat risky, because the enemy could shoot back here, and considering that he has the Kurfürst, there wasn't necessarily a need to expose himself, but it all worked out nicely, and the friendly team has a huge lead anyway. So, nice. Very nice. So we're up to 3 kills and 128,000 points of damage. The enemy team is pretty much broken and scattered, and well, I don't know. So here we see the friendly push meeting some enemies. Actually, the friendly team isn't even taking the B cap for some reason, but I guess at this point I don't care. So, up in the north we have a brawl happening, and let's speed it up a little bit while Alcatraz is getting closer to that. Let's see what shenanigans he will be up to here in the north. Now we have a Yamato against a Kurfürst and a carrier. Well, I guess everything gets more fun if a carrier enters the brawl. So, a friendly Kurfürst, not looking good for him, he got taken down. Now we have some torps here on the way. We have the Yamato obviously aware that there's a destroyer around. And Alcatraz is going to smoke. He has his Hydro running so that he can detect the Yamato, because I'm not sure if anyone else would detect him here in the cyclone. And he wants to keep shooting. Now he got a torp hit in the Yamato there, I think. And somebody else got a torp hit in the Shokaku. So I should go back to the player camera actually. Yeah. Now he's entering his charge here. Shokaku. Yeah, I don't know what the Shokaku is going to do here. Maybe try going for the ram, but he's probably getting torped here anyway. So that leaves a Yamato, and the last remaining question, will the Kraken be unleashed? I guess we'll find out. Yamato is getting close. I mean, he's eating some damage here, nobody cares at this point. The only question that needs to get answered is, will there be a Kraken? Looking good for the Kraken. Oh, he is getting low though. And there's the Kraken. And here we are with the results. 2,793 base experience. Very nice done from Alcatraz here. He also achieved a Confederate, a Kraken, a Liquidator, a Witherer, a First Blood, and a High Caliber, scoring 218,000 points of damage. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys next time.